Hello, mamas. Welcome to this class called Pregnancy Ease, which is all about helping you strengthen and condition your body to support your body and your baby through the trimesters and your growing belly to help mitigate any pregnancy pain, discomfort, prevent injuries through your pregnancy. No one wants that. So we need to make sure that we're strong and supported and mobile in our joints, in our spine, and then also to help prepare your body for birth, because the work we do in our pregnancy to help open things up, to work on our pelvic floor, is all going to help our baby in labor move easily down our pelvis, and the more simple and less traumatic our birth is, the better our postpartum recovery is, and we can get back to doing what we love faster as well. So that is why I'm so passionate about doing this work in your pregnancy. I always say it's never too late, but the earlier you can get started and working and connecting with your body, the better. And you know what? Every time you move your body when you are pregnant, you are connecting with your baby, you are connecting with your breath, and you're connecting with your body, which is only going to improve that intuition which is really needed in motherhood. It's going to help that connection with Baba, that communication line where you can build that relationship, as well as just help you tune into your body more. So I hope you enjoyed this class. These moves that we do are taken from my Moving Mama course. So Moving Mama has 3 options. There's Moving Mama Prenatal, Moving Mama Postpartum, and then we've also got the bundle as well. And then I also do end of pregnancy one-on-ones to help support you, help baby's optimal position, help prepare you for your labor at that end of pregnancy stage. So if you enjoy this class, I know you will love the work that I do in Moving Mama. I take you through strength conditioning yoga through the trimesters during my own pregnancy with my first Bubba, where I birthed her at home in water, and it was the most beautiful experience that I really, no matter where you want to birth, how you want to birth, I want you to go into your birth feeling confident, connected to your body, empowered that you can do it. And that all happens when you do the work before. So I'm very passionate about moving with intention for birth, but also just like keeping up your exercise, but making it specific to where you are at this stage of your life, rather than just do what you were doing, but modify. We can do so much better than that. So I hope you enjoy this conditioning class. If you have any questions, please reach out, even if you're watching the recording here. And at the end, I would also love to share with you a promo code that if you want to join any of my courses, you can get a discount to join as well. All right, so you will need a block, a book, a cushion, something like that to start with, and then also a chair handy for this class. So I want you to take a seat for me on a cushion, a bolster, a block, something that will elevate your hips above your knees. So you might find you need 1 block or 2 blocks, depending on what feels comfortable for your back and your pelvis. Now, how do we know what's right for us? Let's do a quick check before we start. So we've got these 2 bony landmarks at the front called the ASISs. If we bring the heel of our hand to there, and then we bring our fingertips onto our pubic bone, if you can feel them there, we are in neutral pelvis when these 2 bony landmarks are stacked. So often when we're sitting, and this can even be in a car, in a desk chair, we're like this, where we're in a posterior tilt, tucked under, and this is going to put a lot of tension on our posterior pelvic floor, our glutes, also our lower back, a lot of pressure there. Or we can be this kind of person where we're always anteriorly tilted and kind of thrusting in our chest and working really hard in our back muscles. Now, of course, we want to be able to move through both of those positions, and both of those pelvic positions are needed to birth our baby through when the baby's at the top of the pelvis in the inlet, and then also at the outlet when we're going to push our baby out. But the more we can hang out in neutral pelvis, the more ability our muscles, our ligaments have time and to be balanced, left to right, front to back. And we want to be balanced through our pelvis so that our baby has as much space as possible and can move in however he or she wants in whatever position feels good. Now, our baba will always move away from tension and towards space. So we don't want to have too much tension around our pelvic area. So that's why what you do every day in every moment, standing, sitting, walking, we want to be as much as we can aware of our pelvis position. So if you can elevate your hips, you will find it's much easier to get into neutral pelvis. The other reason why neutral pelvis, so having a stacked bones in our pelvis is good, is that our pelvic floor, our core is able to work more efficiently when we are stacked, when our torso is stacked right over our hips and pelvis. So that is another reason why it's good to find that awareness of where you are spending most of your time and just seeing if you can make slight adjustments to being in a better position. So now that we're in a stacked position, 1 blocks, 2 blocks, cushions, whatever's going to work for you, I want you to bring your hands to the sides of your sides of your waist, sorry. So just on the sides here. Now, there's a few ways we can breathe. Most of us know, like when we're stressed and tense, we chest breathe. We shallow breathe up into our chest. Then often if we've done yoga before, we learn to belly breathe and push our belly forward and back. Now, what we optimally want in pregnancy and our postpartum so that our core works efficiently is 3D breathing. So we want diaphragmatic breath. So our diaphragm's here. We can put our hands onto the side to help encourage a bit more breath down here. So you can inhale and send your breath to the sides of your waist here, to your back as well, and your belly, and then your chest. So a full breath. And then exhale through the mouth like you're blowing out some candles. Let's try that again. Inhale, 3D breath through the sides, the back, the front belly, the chest. Exhale through the mouth like you're blowing out 30 candles on a cake. Let's try that again. Inhale through the sides, through the back. Expanding through the front and chest at the end, full breath. Exhale through the mouth, candles breath. And just come back to a natural rhythm. You can open your eyes if they were closed. It might help you tune in. So we want a 3D breath to practice when we are on the mat, and then also if we can in everyday life when we're going to do things, because it's very important that we manage pressure in our abdomen to make sure that not too much strain on our core. So if we're just pushing forward, we're going to put unnecessary pressure on our front abdominals. If we're just breathing in our chest, we're going to be putting unnecessary strain on all our shoulders and neck muscles. So we want to breathe and practice breathing, expanding through our back, expanding through our sides, our front, and our chest, so that the pressure is all dispersed and there's not too much pressure going in any which way. And the reason we want to expand is because if we don't, we kind of shallow breathe or we're tense and it's not moving, this area here is not moving properly, the pressure is also going to go down onto our pelvic floor and put unnecessary pressure down on our pelvic floor, which can make it tight and restricted, and we don't want that. We want a functional pelvic floor. So this candles breath, we full inhale, diaphragm breath. Then you heard me say candles breath, like you're blowing out a candle on a birthday cake. Now, as you do that, you will notice as you get to the end of that candle's breath, you will feel a core connection, core contraction, these sideways drawing in slightly. We also want to think of an up arrow. Now, it's not a Kegel, like a full tightness and lift up. It's just we want to make sure that there's no pressure down. So on that exhale, imagine an up arrow drawing up sort of inward and towards our belly button that way. So let's do about 3 more deep belly breaths, those candles breath. When you're ready, if you want to close down your eyes, and we'll inhale full 3D breath, sides, back, front, chest. Exhale, candles breath through the mouth. Start to feel the sideways drawing in, that core connection, that upper arrow lift. Inhale, let it all go. 3 deep breaths. Exhale, candles breath. Feel that up arrow drawing up just gently. Inhale, 3 deep breaths. Exhale, candles breath. Up arrow drawing up through that pelvic floor. And then let it go. Really nice work. So I hope that to start with brings a little more awareness to your breath and your postural position, that you can take those tips with you for everyday life. Okay, so let's go into a little bit of movement now. So you can stay seated, whether you're cross-legged or kneeling might be better, but we really want our hips elevated so that is less pressure on our lower back. So we're going to reach our hands forward and go for some simple rotation. So the left arm is going to rotate back. We go into a twist. And then coming back through to the front. Other side. Inhale. And exhale. So you can move with your breath. Maybe think of anchoring those sit bones down. So the pelvis stays pretty still, and we're just opening up the movement through our spine. Inhale, open. Exhale, coming back through. Inhale, open. Exhale, coming back through. Snap the way. Let's go for 6. So see if we can keep that stacked, so no arching at the back, the ribs over the pelvis. Really nice. 2. Last one here. And coming back down. So good. We're going to reach the hands up this time. Big inhale. And then as we exhale, we bring one hand down and we're going to come into a side bend. So we're not just slumping and sinking. Keep that lift through the core as we come over for a side bend. Inhale, reach up, both hands. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, reach up. So we want to be able to keep this movement through our pregnancy in all directions. So rotation is important. We want a 3D breathe. We need to open sideways. One more here. Exhale. So good. And then coming all the way up. So you can come to kneeling next if you like. Now, up to you if you want to be onto a high kneel, a low kneel, or you can even do this sitting on a chair if you like. Anchored sit bones. From here, we're going to do some shoulder cars. So what this means is mobility, creating mobility through the shoulders. Why this is important is that in pregnancy, we want to keep this stacked. But if we don't have adequate shoulder flexion here, which is when the arms go up, and we have to kind of heave through our chest here. Can you see now my ribs aren't stacked over my pelvis? So that's why we want to work on our shoulder mobility. So when you're ready, create some fists and a little bit of tension, stacked torso over your pelvis, bring the arms into the midline, come up towards the sky, internally rotate and take the arms back all the way towards your hips. And then we go back the way we came, externally rotate the arms and come back up towards the middle and down. So we want to do this without arching the back into the midline and up. Internally rotate and back. And then come back the way you came, externally rotate and up. In towards your midline. Towards the middle, elbows stay straight. You just work through whatever range you have available here. Not pushing or forcing in any way. Externally rotate and up. Awesome. And then coming down. So good. All right, we're going to come onto all fours next. Have the block nearby. So when you come onto all fours, just notice naturally where your pelvis is. Are you like more of a slumper or are you tucking under? We want to be in that neutral, that halfway between the two. So if you want to do a couple of pelvic tuck and untucks, you can do that. So just the tailbone, just the lower back goes into the anterior tilt and the posterior tilt. So let's do a few of those here. And then find the middle here. Awesome. Now we're going to go to the wrist. So the elbows are straight. See if the eye of the elbow can point forward. And let's just go into, so maintaining that neutral spine, some, what do we call these? Circles. Some circles in one direction. I'm really spreading my fingers, getting some weight onto our arms. Now, remember, we see a lot of people through labor move through contractions on all fours. And we want to make sure that our wrists are strong and stable so that we don't fatigue through that area, so we can't be in the position we want to be in. We don't know what we'll feel like we'll be in, but it's good to have the options. When you're ready, reverse the circle. 4, elbows straight, 3, 2, and 1. We're now going to go into a scapular push-up. So we're on all fours, spine is in neutral, elbows straight. We drop the chest and draw the shoulder blades together and then press away. Now, if you want to add a bit more core, you can draw the knees a bit further back, but you want to maintain the shoulders right over the wrist joint, and you'll feel them slide together, squeeze at the back, and then spread apart. In at the back and spread apart, elbows straight. We do about 10 of these. Really good for kind of balancing those muscles in the front and the back of the shoulders. You know, we don't just want to focus on the pelvis. The upper body is really important to maintain strength and mobility through our pregnancy. Just a few more for 3, for 2, and 1. Awesome work. And if you need to give your wrists a little break after that, maybe interlace the hands and give them a little roll around. Okay, so we're going to come back to all fours here. We're going to go for a little bit of core work now. Now, if you like, depending on what level you're at, you can just do your candle's breath we did seated, just drawing the sides in, hugging your belly towards you on the exhale. If you want to add a bit more, as we do that, we can hover the knees off the ground. So we're going to inhale to prepare, 3 deep breath. Exhale, candle's breath as you start to engage through the core, drawing your belly towards your spine, keeping the back in neutral, knees hover. Inhale, lower, knees down. Exhale, sides come in, knees hover. Inhale, come down gently. Exhale. Inhale, soften the knees down. Exhale, sideways, draw together, belly, hug the baby, hug your baba in, and inhale. Exhale. And coming down. So good. All right, we're now going to grab your block, or if you've got some books, whatever you have, and bring it under one knee. So we're just going to have a bit more of an uneven base of support underneath our hips. So this is going to help us open through the sacrum and the back of the pelvis, which we need in pregnancy. So we're just going to move through our cat-cows here. So moving into spine flexion, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone especially under, and then extension. So you can move through a couple here. And just feeling that unevenness through the pelvis. We're focusing more on one side here, creating some space in the back of the pelvis. And then when you're ready, we switch and bring the knee under the other side. And now we round and extend. And we round and extend. Just a little bit of a different way to get a bit more out of your normal cat-cow. That's going to help support your birth. And you can take that away when you're ready and just pop that to the side. So coming back to all fours, and if at any time you need to circle the wrists, or maybe we take a little break, interlace the hands behind you, nice open chest. Big deep breath, and then we'll come back to all fours when you're ready. So now we're going to reach the right hand under and reach it as far as we can as we bend the elbow to one side, come up through your center, rotate through to the other side. And just doing a few side to side here. And you'll see there's quite a bit of a focus on adding in some mobility here because it's so important to maintain. We're not just stretching, we're moving our body through active ranges of motion. With your breath, no rush, moving side to side. One more each side here. Last one. Awesome work. We're going to slide down onto your elbows now. And I want you to think about not dropping through the pelvis. So we're rounding, tucking under through the lower back. From here, we're going to slide the right leg to straight. So hips square. And then we're just going to lift. Well, I'm going to get my chair here. We're going to lift one leg. So we tuck under, slide the leg, and then without losing our back position, we're just going to lift and lower. Hip extension, hips square to the ground. Such an important movement we want to maintain. Good. We're doing about 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come in, other side, hips square, slide back, lift and lower. So the extension's not coming from the lower back, it's coming from the glute and the hip. Pressing the elbows into the ground for that bit of core support for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Come back up to all fours and just slide one leg out to the side here. And you can keep the hands down. So if I'm here on all fours, I just bring one leg out and just start to rock forward and back a little bit. Let's just open up the hips a bit. I love this one. I love this one in my pregnancy. Just felt so nice to go side to side. I'd often do this with holding on to my birth ball. Few rocks forward and back. Do little kind of semicircles with the hip. And then when you're ready, let's switch other side. So just the leg just kind of bends out to the side. We're not in like a full lunge, more like a half squat kind of position. You can keep a bit of a lift in the chest. Good. 4, oh, got a few little clicks. 3, 2, and 1. So nice. Okay. Now, if you have a chair handy, you're going to grab your chair. You could also use, actually, I might use the side of this couch. It might feel better for me. And if you even need to put anything underneath your knees, of course, you just want to make sure you're comfortable. So we're going for an elevated kneeling push-up. So we want to make sure the shoulders are down away from our ears. We want one long line from our knees to the top of our head. We keep the elbows down about 45 degrees. Inhale, blow before you go. So we want to blow on that exhale. That candles breath core engagement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Keep going. Inhale, exhale. Few more here. Nice work for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good. We're going to come back to all fours when you're ready. So this time, neutral position, just for a little bit of glute work to interchange. So from here, left leg is straight behind you. We lift it up without dropping through the lower back. So from here now, we're just going to do little circles, just hovering in line with the hip. 9, 8, 7, 6. Everything else stays square to the ground. 3, 2, and then reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, come in. We move to the other side. Come forward, yeah, the way. Okay, so I make sure my hips are square. Exhale, lift the leg. Remember, I'm drawing the sideways in to support my core, and we go for the circles. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7. So just in that hip joint. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down. Back to one more set of push-ups here. Kneeling. 10 in total. Shoulders away from my ears. 10, 9, 8, you got it. 7, 6. We want to maintain this upper body strength. We don't want to do nothing for 9 months, mama. We want to make sure we're prepared for motherhood. For 3, 2, and 1. All right, so good. So I want you to take a seat. And now we're going to be in what we call our 90-90. So 90 degrees in this front hip and back hip. Now, if this is too much, there's a few things you can do. You can shorten the 90-90, so bring the feet in. You can also elevate the front hip, so I can lift this left hip up a little higher. Now, you might just be at a level where you just need to stay here and breathe, working on the external and internal rotation of your hip. If you want a bit more, we're going to bring our right hand to our right hip here and just rock forward and back a little bit here just to see if we can loosen off this hip joint. So nice breathing easy as you rock forward and back. 3, 2, and 1. Find halfway. We're going to face this leg here. And now we're just going to hinge. Now you might not get too far. Might feel like your belly's a little bit in the way here. But we're going to hinge, so no rounding of the back. We just hinge over this front leg. And then to press up, you're going to press the leg down into the ground. We hinge over the front leg, press the leg down into the ground. So we're conditioning this hip in external rotation to be strong by driving it down into the ground as we press away. For 3, tall spine, lengthen spine. 2, hinge over, and 1. Now we're going to maintain this uprightness, so we're not floppy here, and we're going to go into internal rotation in this back leg. So how do we do that? This foot lifts off and the knee drives down. Now, your leg might not even move, but even just move as if it's going to move. So engage the muscle. So we lift the foot off the ground and the hip goes into internal rotation. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or you can just hold as another option and just hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Come through the middle. This is your bear sit. And when you get to your bear sit, you can always just have an easy rock side to side, loosen it up, and then we do the same thing on the other side. So we're in our 90-90 on this side. Do what you need to do, make it smaller, elevate your hip. We face this front leg and we hinge over, drive the leg down and come up. So using your fingertips is going to make this a little easier. Drive it down, or you can take the hands off, is going to make it obviously way more active. Remember, it's like we're pulling the leg up towards our chest and then we're driving it down as we press away. For 3, 2, hinging, and 1. We're going to go into this back leg now. So internal rotation, so the knee drives down, the foot lifts. See if you can do this without moving the rest. So rather than kind of doing that, just see what you've got in just the hip. Good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and then hover. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we didn't do it on the side, so bring the hand to the hip, And just probably nice to do it at the end, loosen it off, rocking forward and back. The reason we work on our hip internal and external rotation is that the influence of that on our pelvis allows different parts of the pelvis to open. So when the baby's at the top of the pelvis, going into the pelvic inlet, so you've just started labor, we want to be able to access more external rotation. Then when the baby, you're ready to push your baby out and the baby's in the outlet, if you can access internal rotation, that can help you open, make more space for bub to come through the outlet. All right, so come and take a seat. Now you can grab your cushion or your block if you've got one handy, and we're going to have one leg bent and one leg straight. And the leg can be slightly out to the side if that's more comfortable. Now we're going to work on our hip flexor strength. The reason we do this is because if you've got tight hips, that doesn't mean that they're just so strong. The reason we've got tight hips is sometimes because they're weak, it's because they're compensating for other parts of our body. So we can actually strengthen them to help with that weakness as well and to help with that tightness. So there's a few things you can do. Again, if this is not going to work for you, you can just not pretend, move the leg off the ground as if it's going to move, and even if it doesn't, you're engaging all the hip flexors or the top of the leg, and that's great. So you'll work on that. You can also make it a little bit easier by elevating your hips more. And then the other thing is leaning back will help as well. So coming out of it through your hands. So what we're going to do is lift the leg up, and we're just going to hover it along the ground like this, side to side, okay, for a few reps. So when you're ready, straight leg, squeeze the kneecap, lift the leg up, and we go for 6, 5, hovering off the ground, 4, 3, 2, and 1, coming down. So good. Let's switch sides. We bend one knee in and one leg out. We're basically just unchairing our body. You know, when our ancestors didn't sit in chairs as much, and it was much easier to birth their babies because their bodies were less tight. There was probably also less stress. Maybe not, I don't know. But this is basically what we're doing, is freeing up and strengthening our body again, how it was designed. So squeeze the leg, lift it up, hover. Let's go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, come down. Let's do one more set each side. We switch. All right, we lift the leg up. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Come in. And in today's strength class, we're conditioning and strengthening our joints. We're not using weights. I do actually love using some weights in pregnancy, and in Movin Mama, some hand weights are useful to have. Okay, come down. All right, that's great. Take a seat and just rock your knees side to side. Because I think in real life we're picking up laundry. Our baby, even in our belly, weighs quite a bit. So we need to make sure that we're able to carry things, we're able to load our body and still be able to take care of it. So that is why I'm a fan of weight training. I think all women should be weight training, even through pregnancy. It's never too late to start. So we're going to stand up next and work into a little more functional things now. So the first thing we're going to go through is a hinge. We're going to stand one leg straight and one leg bent just behind. Now in pregnancy, we want to maintain an open back body, open hamstrings, glutes, and back. We don't want this area to be tight because that's going to restrict the movement of our pelvis. So we do that by practicing how to hinge. So hip square. We're going to hinge here. Now the standing leg can be slightly bent, that's fine, but no rounding of the back. So we're not rounding here, and we're moving to a point we can maintain that hinge. We then press the heel of our right leg down into the ground. So engage the glutes, engage the back of the leg, and then coming up. So we're getting length and strength into our hamstring. So when you're ready, we've got 6. We hinge, press the heel into the ground, engage the back of the leg and come up. 5, and press. And all as one, no rounding of the back. We want a straight spine. We're learning to hinge, so isolating our pelvis from our spine. For 3, as when we don't have very good body awareness, you'll find that when you move, everything moves. But as we get better at connecting to our body, it's easier to choose which parts of your pelvis to move, which is a great skill to have in your labor. Last one, hinge and pressing up. Let's switch legs, so other legs behind, hips square forward. From here, we hinge, engage the leg and up. So remember that first rep, you're going to hinge down, and then before you even move, push the leg as if you're going to move, and then drive it up. That's 2. Hinge. That's 3. Hinge. That's 4. So you can have a slight bend in the knee, or it can be straight. 5. Last one here. And as we get better at this, we can start adding a weight to this exercise. But for today, I want to take you through the patterns. We're next going to move into a squat, so feet hip width apart. Now we're going to add this hinge into our squat. So the hips are going to drive back, and then we bend our knees. So we're putting our weight through our heels so that we can turn our glutes on, and you can reach forward. And then all as one, candle's breath, blow before you go, we exhale. Inhale down. Exhale, drive it through the heels, squeeze your bottom. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We want to make sure that in our pregnancy, we're maintaining and working on this glute activation. We don't want to lose our valuable glutes. For 5, they're supporting us. For 4, and press. For 3, so there's a knee bend and a hinge. Hips go back at the hips. Keep the knees over the ankles. 2, last one. And 1. Really nice work. We're going to come into a wide stance. Now, if you have any pubic symphysis pain or SIJ pain, you might want to decrease your stance, or you can always do another round of those nice balanced squats. So from here, we're going to bend one leg. As we do that, we're going to bend the left knee, reach the right arm forward, create some length in the torso, rotate to that side, and then come up all as one. Then we rotate to the right as we bend the right leg, keep the left leg straight, and come up all as one. So that's, let's go. Rotate and come up. That's 1. So adding in some rotation to this side lunge. 2, 3, rotate, side lunge. 4, 5, 6, 7, you got it. 8, 9, and 10. Well done, mama. Okay, again, you can always make the width of your feet smaller if you feel like that you need to build that stability up in your pubic bone. So from here, we're going to come into a wide squat, coming down and then simply just pressing up. Remember, stacked spine, inhale to go down, exhale to come up. Inhale to go down, exhale to come up. Good. Just a few more here. Let's go for 5 and press. 4 and press. Lengthening our inner thighs here. 2 and 1. So we're going to do the same thing. You can always stick with the same variation. If you want to, we're going to come down into our squat. We then come out of it and drop one hip into internal rotation. Open, external rotation. Up, internal, other side, drop the knee. Open, external. Up, internal. So it's a little pivot on our foot. into internal, the hips stay square, external, working this hip joint, and down, and in, and out. Let's do one more each side, in, and out, and in, and out. Woo, so good. Shake those legs out. Awesome work. So we're going to need a chair for this next one, just for a little bit of balance support. We're going to stand on our right foot here. Now, you can have a slightly bent knee if you like. It's up to you. Just fingertips on the chair for support. Okay? So from here, we're going to rise up, single leg rise, up onto your toes. Once you come down, we're going to shoot the leg out, hip square to the ground for a little warrior three and come up. So you really just need the support of the chair for the rise. The warrior three, you want to take your balance, hip square to the ground, the standing leg can be bent, and then you just pull it back up, okay? Fingertips on the chair, let's go. 1, and back. Bring it up. 2, and back. Knee bent on that rise is fine. 3, and back. Chest upright. 4, and back. Working on our ankle stability and strength. And foot, you can see I'm barefoot. I want to spend as much time barefoot as we can throughout our pregnancy so that our arches are working, we can build our foot strength. So important that our foot is mobile for our pelvic floor. Let's go one more. And back. All right, when you're ready, let's switch sides. All right, 1, and back. 2, and back. 3, and back. 4, and back. 5, you've got it, mama, and back. Doing the work. This is how we prepare. We're using our breath, our body. Last one. And back. So good. All right. We're going to need your chair. You can bring it nearby. We're going to come kneeling for a little upper back stretch. I really like this one to help open our chest and also our arms, which we started with. So you're going to bring your elbows to the edge of the chair. You can bring the palms together, and then you're going to walk your knees back and let your chest and head kind of drop inside. Now, you don't want to completely like dump your weight down. We're staying supported through our back, thinking length rather than extension. And then when you get there, take some nice 3 deep breaths. If it helps, you can have the hands in that prayer over your elbows, or you can bring your thumbs to your upper back. You are working, you're at a desk. In your pregnancy, it's really important that we help reverse some of that desk posture so that we can mitigate tightness building up. Keep our breath nice and broad and big and unrestricted. That's why I always say don't wear tight bras, because it's restricting our rib movement as we breathe. So important. Now you know it's important not only for your mobility, but also for your core. So your core can function optimally. Let's go for about 3 more breaths. Last one here. So good. And coming out. So we're going to finish with a lunge, a stretch. You can have a chair or something to support you here. We're going to bring one leg. So I've got my left leg forward. I'm on my right knee. You can always bring a cushion underneath. I've got a chair nearby. So from here, I'm going to tuck under with my tailbone. So tuck under, I create some length through the front, and then my whole self is going to lunge forward. Now you already feel that openness. You can hold there, or if you like, you can move into a nice active side bend towards the side of the front leg. And then just breathe. A really amazing stretch. Help keep things open and movable. Awesome. Slowly coming out, we'll switch sides. I'm here. I tuck under with my tailbone and then I lunge forward. Keep the ribs stacked. If you wanted to move into that side bend, we come up, create the length, and then over. Awesome. Slowly coming out. And just pop your chair to the side. You can lie on your back any way that feels comfortable for you. So remember to get down, just lie on our back. You lie on your side, support yourself, practice doing this, support your core. And then if you wanted to elevate your chest, you can lie on a bolster or anything that feels comfortable. You can always put something underneath your knees. But if you're here, and this is okay, we won't stay long here, you can just bring the feet wider than the hips and just gently rock your knees side to side. Nice easy rock. Nice. And then once you've done that, bring the feet more hip width apart. And just nice and slow, roll your pelvis towards you, peeling up one vertebra at a time for an easy bridge. Inhale at the top. Exhale, peeling down one vertebra at a time. Just two more here. Rolling up, feel the engagement of the back body to support you. Creating length in your spine. And then gently rolling back down. Last one here. And then lying into a position that feels comfortable. You can either roll into your side if that's more comfy, or staying on your back just for a minute. And just close your eyes, connecting with your body. With some gratitude, some positivity. Just to say thank you, body. Thank you for knowing exactly what to do in every moment, for supporting me. You can connect with your Baba and say, I'm here. I care. That's why I showed up here. You can let your Baba know we're doing this together. It's a team effort. I create the space and you move wherever feels right for you. You will find your perfect position. All I need to do is stay connected with my body, connected with my breath. Bring a little smile to your face. Take your time here. You can slowly open your eyes, maybe roll a little more into your side and use your arms to push yourself up. There's no rush. Thank you for joining me through that conditioning class. That was very specific to supporting your belly through the trimesters, but also preparing your body for birth and your postpartum. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a little taste of my approach for Moving Mama, but in the courses, we create a little more functional strength work. So using some weights, and you can choose, you could do a body weight, you can add some weights depending on your fitness level or where you're at in your pregnancy. But really it's broken up into the 3 trimesters so that Every class is really intentional and specific for that trimester. And we really balance that yin and yang. So yes, there's the functional weights and strength classes, but then there's more Pilates-based conditioning mobility classes like today. And then we also have some simple yoga practices and then more restorative yoga practices. So I just know how much it helped and supported me. And I really want this for every mama out there. So you're going into your birth feeling really confident and empowered and connected. And yeah, the better your birth, the better your postpartum and the easier you're going to recover. So I know how supportive that is. If you have any questions, please reach out to me anytime. And if you're here, I do want to offer you a promo code for 20% off our Moving Mama courses. You just need to use the promo code PREPARE and that will give you that discount. So I really hope that helps. Thanks for joining me and I look forward to moving with you soon.